This program was made possible in part by
I'll never forget the pride that my dad took in the crops that he grew on our farm. He always said the work we do is important, that we feed Mississippi and the country. We can help people put healthy, safe, and affordable food on their table, and that's a reason to be proud. Americans spend only about 10% of their disposable income on food. In some countries, it's 50%. Mississippi farmers are proud to do our part to help families enjoy safe, healthy food at affordable prices.
The Farm Families of Mississippi.
Mississippi Seafood Marketing, a division of the Department of Marine Resources. From our waters to your table. Fresh, local, healthy. Information available at dmr.ms.gov.
Well, hello. I'm Chef Rob Stinson, and this is Fit to Eat, a new series about eating healthy and living better. Deer hunting is one of Mississippi's biggest hobbies, and deer meat is healthy and lean. One 3-ounce serving of deer meat contains only 2.7 grams of fat and 26 grams of protein. With me today is my friend Denis Trochesset, and we'll be making
How are you, sir?
his deer chili. And let me tell you, he's the expert. Now, as always, you can find all of our recipes with the nutritional information on our website, mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat. That's me. And you know what? This one especially is a little out of my element, so I had to call in for reinforcements.
That's me.
And I think what's really cool about this is everybody I know has got deer meat in their refrigerator.
Somebody's family is a hunter, or they're friends of a hunter.
Or they get given it as a gift.
Exactly, like myself.
And, you know, at that point, what do you do with it? Well, here is going to be a great, healthy version of what we can do with it. And, you know, I want to show people out there taking a look at this incredible tenderloin of deer. That is a beautiful piece of lean meat.
And you were talking 3 ounces with the amount of protein that it has. That's about a 3 to 4 ounce portion right there. And it has 1/3 the saturated fat that beef does. So you really are eating much healthier by eating venison.
Isn't that great? Well, listen, we've got a lot of work on this dish because there's tons of ingredients. Plus, we're going to also show you kind of a heart healthy version of coleslaw to go along with this.
Favorite.
And then we're going to do some kind of seared sweet potato chips.
Sweet potato chips?
Curry crusted.
That sounds good.
Sweet potatoes.
Oh,
curry
I'm
crusted.
excited.
So it should be a good compliment, I hope, to your chili. All right. Where are we starting here?
First thing I want to do, of course, is get our skillet that we're using is nice and hot because we're going to try to brown off this deer meat. Remember, it's very lean, has very little fat to add to the recipe. So we want to get as much flavor by searing the outside of it as we possibly can.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Over there, we have about 24 ounces of deer meat, which was this beautiful tenderloin. We cubed it up and made sure that they were all about the same size pieces. You want everything to cook about the same speed so that way it has an even doneness all the way throughout. I'm just going to spread these apart in the pan.
Sounds good.
So there's a lot of room, and it's beautiful. As you can tell, venison is a different color. It has a different texture than beef. It's a lot finer of a texture.
Well, I look at that rich kind of ruby color.
Very ruby.
Gosh, it just has got a great look already.
It's full of flavor, it really is. And it's funny because venison is like a lot of our other cultured meats. The flavor definitely tends to vary depending on the diet of the venison itself.
Well, and this is good Mississippi grown venison.
Leaf River, for sure.
You know, one of the things, and we're going to be talking a lot about that as we go through all these ingredients, remember your farmers markets out there where you can get a great pesticide-free product, and all of this is homegrown. So support your local merchants, eat healthier. That's a great win-win.
Oh, win-win all the way. Everybody benefits from it, and it's healthy, guys.
Yeah.
It's much better for you.
I know.
Myself, I could stand to lose a good 20 pounds, and this is a good way for me to have one of my favorite comfort foods and do it the right way, which is healthy.
Well, and
without sacrificing.
You know, the other thing about this is there's so many ingredients that are going into this. Nobody out there is going to remember them all, so don't forget, mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat is going to have all of this online so that you can take it and walk through this recipe at home as if you were the pro, and that's half the fun. Denis and I have done dozens of dinner parties together.
Love those dinner parties.
And, you know, one of the fun things in cooking something like this is It's right up everyone who's from here's normal kind of comfort zone, but most people would never think to use it for chili.
No, really,
You know?
not at
I
all.
mean,
It's just a shame.
You just don't. You don't see it often. And, you know, I think that this has got some great kind of uniqueness to it. And I know Dennis is dying to put some coarse
Little
pepper over there.
You know, I love my pepper and my seasonings, and that's also a great way to attain a lot of flavor out of what you're cooking and still be healthy, is by using ingenious ways to season it. Because most spices are relatively healthy.
Isn't that the truth?
They really
You know,
are.
I've been talking about making up your own seasoning mix, and if you go to the website, you can find the recipe for that there. But one of the nice things when you go to the store, make sure what you're buying is a garlic powder,
Right.
not a garlic salt.
Yes.
And it makes all the difference in the world.
And
so right now, that beef is looking wonderful. And what we're going to do, we're going to kind of trick everybody today. We're going to actually have everything seared off in this pan.
Right.
Then add it
To our stock
into the
pot.
large stock pot.
Nice.
And just as a time constraint.
That way they can see what we're doing as we doing it. It works out
And I mean,
well.
you could easily be doing this in one pot at home. You don't have to do the 2 stages that we're doing. We thought it'd be a lot more fun for you out there to be able to see each one of these, because once the pan is done and he pops it in there, everything keeps going into the same. We're
Right.
going to sear it all and get all that flavor from that wonderful deer meat.
Oh, yeah. And the deer
Incredible.
meat's getting pretty close. I have a little bit of red left to it. And once it's seared on all the sides, I'll go ahead and transfer it to the pot, and then we'll start with our veggies.
Sounds good.
Our aromatics. That's really where we're going to build a lot of the character of the flavor of the chili.
And it's all healthy stuff.
Speaking of healthy, you know, chili peppers are really healthy for you in many ways. They help with diabetic neuropathy. They help with circulation in your limbs. They're good for headaches. If you got a horrible headache, grab you a jalapeno. Try this at home. It may, light you up a little bit, but it'll relieve a lot of the tension in your head.
That's a neat little tidbit.
Couple
you know?
little tricks. Couple little tricks
Sounds
for
great.
sure.
I'm going to flip it. Let's have a
Go
little
ahead.
fun with this.
What, no flames?
We're being careful here. We're being careful. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and move on with that.
Sounds good. Let me
Gonna
start
turn
this.
that pan on and
Beautiful.
move it over. We've got a nice little coating on there
Still
already.
have a little oil in the pan, so we don't have to add any more, which is good. Keeps it nice and healthy.
All right.
Yellow onions.
Diced yellow onions.
Ooh.
That's about
Lot-
2 cups.
A lot of the flavor will come
About
from
2
these
cups.
yellow onions.
So we had 24 ounces, 1.5 pounds of the deer meat, about 2 cups of onion. And we're going to add right to that another cup of garlic.
Yes, sir. Remember, all these aromatics add different levels of flavor and intensities all through your sauce.
Just a hair more. And realize now in this entire recipe, there's only 2 ounces of oil. And
2 ounces.
that is
That's
a
minimal.
decrease in fat. And we're using
Considerable.
olive oil, which is the best to cook with, the healthiest for you. So remember, that's a big focus in this dish, is that we're using leaner meat, less fat, and all healthy homegrown products.
So that way you can
Let's make
still
it
have
look
the
pretty, huh?
comfort food that you love. And
We're gonna see how
guilt-free.
well Dennis can flip a skillet here. You know, I talked about it while we're on the show. He's a pro. I can't.
I
get
wouldn't
him.
go that far.
I can't get him.
a little bit of mileage. And look at the colors, they're starting to build itself. And you know what's nice, when you smell these aromatics cooking, the reason why they call them aromatics is that wonderful smell and that savory aroma
isn't that
fills
incredible?
the room. Oh man, I'm getting excited just thinking about it.
Well, let's go ahead and throw a little bit of our spice in there.
A little bit of our seasoned bloom. Oh, looks like what? A little coriander,
Little
maybe?
coriander. Little coriander.
And you know, coriander is basically the seed of the cilantro plant. And if you take it and if you get them whole and you toast them yourself in a skillet at home, put them in a coffee grinder like Rob did, I'm sure, and toss them in, it's an incredible balance to flavor that we'll have in
And
our
I love
aromatics.
cilantro.
Oh man, myself included.
Cilantro is just a great flavor.
And it's
All right.
part of the Tex-Mex.
Now, anybody who's ever made their own chili mix from scratch knows coriander and cumin. are
Coriander,
gonna be in there.
cumin, and I like to rehydrate chili peppers, which we already hydrated
I
some
see
of
'em-
the chili
I see 'em
peppers
over
over
here.
there.
I see 'em
It's
over
a good
here.
way to build the flavor without building the fat.
That's right.
That's what we're trying to achieve.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Oh,
now,
that smells good.
talk to me a little bit about these smoked chili peppers.
Okay, I have some smoked anchos in there. I have some poblanos. I have guajilos, and I have pasilos. And these you can find any normal supermarket around your house. Just find the dried peppers and look for them. They're all different levels of intensity and flavor and heat. I tried to find the ones that are more neutral and more palatable to where you didn't have too spicy of a chili.
All right, and I tell you what, he's going over a lot of details. Don't forget mpbonline.org/50eat. That's us. That's where you'll find this recipe. And in the recipe online, I believe it's got serrano peppers and jalapeno peppers.
We have some of those chopped up over
and,
there.
just happened.
Oh, yes.
Imagine that.
And look at the color that's going into this dish. And whenever you're thinking about healthy food, the more color, the better.
There's no doubt.
No doubt.
I really believe that people feel if they've suffered in trying to eat healthy and they don't have something that looks good, they're not getting what they really want.
Not at all.
So what a great way. And this dish, let me tell you, you could take this dish and let it simmer and cook for 2 to 3 hours, and it only gets better with time.
Oh, yeah.
Or we're going to cook it because that beef is basically done right now. These veggies will go into it, and it's going to be done in no time at all to where you could actually eat it in a 25, 30-minute time frame.
Exactly.
Or take your time and cook it, let it simmer while you've got guests over at your house, and you got a great product no matter when you pull it off the heat.
Think about it this way, too. If you have a busy day of work ahead of you, you can start it by browning your meat, then adding all the ingredients at the same time to your slow cooker. Come home, your house will smell great. You'll have chili waiting for you, and everything will be
I know,
done.
and I tell you what, I was never that fond of deer meat until I tried your chili. This is incredible.
You have to build the flavors from the ground up. And you start with great, local, wild farmed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and throw that in the pot.
All right.
And we'll start adding a little bit more of this on the side.
Sounds like a plan. And
All
you
right.
know what? If you would, since we have all these flavors built up and caramelized in the bottom of the pan, I'm going to put it back on the heat, and you can hand me that beef stock, and we'll deglaze the pan.
You got it. You got it.
There you go. And remember, guys, deglazing is just a fancy term for getting the flavor off the bottom.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
We're going to throw a little crushed red pepper, so you got a lot of
a little
spice
more
in there.
heat. There you go. And it's slowly getting around. Do you know where the word chili comes from? You know the term of chili? Everybody hears chili this and chili that. It started back in the Columbian Exposition in the 1890s, and it began as a block, a brick. The trail hands would take it out, and it started with dried chili peppers and dried suet, which was dried beef, and they'd hammer it into a brick. That way, when they're out on the range and they're moving cattle or whatever, they'd take the brick, stick it in a pot of water,
Like
and
a
let it boil.
preservative almost.
It was a preservative. It was a way to preserve the flavor and the meat. And then after about 3 hours of boiling, it had a pot of chili.
Isn't that incredible?
Really crazy. Lyndon B. Johnson is one of the first gentlemen who responsible for making it famous. He had a heart condition a while back. I think he was serving on the Senate committee, and his wife and the doctor prompted him to stop using the suet, which was the dried beef, so he preferred using venison, and then he added our next ingredient, which is the tomatoes, and onions, which added an incredible flavor difference.
Let's go ahead and pop those in.
Oh, yes. Beautiful, beautiful tomatoes.
All right,
Vibrant
now,
colors.
Now we got a little bit of paste. I'm going to give you a
Paste?
spin and let you kind
Tell
of
you what, would you like to put that in the stock
Yeah, let's
here?
do that. Let's do that.
There we go.
Let's do that. We'll mix that in.
And that same
Now,
recipe,
I added a little bit of clove in there. I snuck that in while you weren't watching.
That's
I
all right.
saw it was
I like
in your recipe.
The smell is
I
wonderful.
know. Isn't that incredible? That's how I just kind of dawned on me. Look at that. And this will make a wonderful little paste right here.
And look at that color. It's starting to turn that rich ruby red. And
All right, now we're going to have a little bit more fun and add into this
the beans.
the
Beans,
pinto
man,
beans.
one of my favorite things in the world to eat are beans. Guys, they're so healthy for you. Protein, complex carbohydrates. They're full of soluble fiber, non-soluble fiber.
You know,
It's really
and that
good
helps
at dinner.
reduce LDL cholesterol.
Oh, man.
That's the bad cholesterol. So those pinto beans are fantastic.
All beans are fantastic, but these pintos are extremely good and delicious for you.
Well, I tell you what.
We're slowly building it together.
That is a beautiful variety of food that's gone in there. Beautiful, lean deer meat that is actually right from Mississippi. Every other ingredient you can easily get.
Yeah.
So here's a way, and I mean, all of this stuff is readily available, and I really do like to try and go to the farmer's market where you can actually get it preservative-free,
Yes.
pesticide-free.
Oh, yeah.
It's a better product. It's less expensive.
And you're supporting your local economy, guys.
Yeah. They've got them all over the state now.
Everywhere.
You just got to do a little research, get online, check it out, find out where they are, and then go support them. Because you know what? They need your support. They
You'll be
really do.
amazed at the difference between the flavor of your fresh farm-raised vegetables,
Yep.
seasoning, spices, compared to the ones that you'd find in your local supermarket.
All right,
Oh, what do
we're
you
gonna
have
have a
over
little
there?
fun here
I
now.
see some colors
Now it's my
coming
turn.
out.
It's my turn to throw one in.
Oh, work on it.
All right.
I like it.
This is a great
Ooh,
recipe,
Looks good.
and it is absolutely a beautiful, healthy version of coleslaw.
Get out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So traditionally, coleslaws are made with mayonnaise, sour cream, lemon juice, and this and that. And we all know the mayonnaise, even though it's one of my personal favorites, isn't necessarily good for you. So we're trying to be a little
We're definitely going to get you away from that. When I show you what's in this, you're going to say, you got to be kidding me. But it's so delicious, I think you'll enjoy it. So we have here shredded red cabbage, all right? And we're going to go ahead and start off with the red cabbage and throw it in the bowl.
Nice color.
Isn't it great?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's
cabbage.
one of the things about good coleslaw. You want to have a variety. Green cabbage.
Right. Not only does it have a color difference, but it's a texture difference also when it's prepared.
Absolutely. And don't forget now, you know, again, we're throwing a lot of ingredients at you. Go to mpbonline.org/50eat, and you can get these great recipes. Now, beautiful, crisp, fresh, shredded carrots.
Another different texture, color, flavor.
Got those at the farmer's market, and that's why they're so beautiful and fresh. All right. We're going to take a pinch now. This looks like sugar. This is actually sucralose. So it's a sugar substitute.
Nice.
And we're going to put a little pinch, not much. And I'll tell you why we don't need much, because coleslaw's always got a sweetness, right?
Right, it has.
This won't need much because we're going to actually use a fat-free Greek yogurt.
Love the Greek yogurt.
And it has a hint of sweetness.
Right.
And it's a little thicker. But
so that's how you substitute in the mayonnaise and the sour cream is the Greek yogurt.
Right here, horseradish.
Oh, yes,
Good,
baby.
creamed, fresh, natural horseradish. You see that color?
Oh, yeah.
That brown color? So we're going to actually start tossing all of this together.
Sounds
and now
like
we're
that's going to have some flavor.
Oh,
Healthy
it's
with
so
flavor?
good.
Why
and
sacrifice?
now look, we're not talking about much yogurt at all. Just enough to give a little creamy nature to that dish. We're going to stir it up a little bit. Dennis, how you coming with that chili over there?
Looking great. Remember, guys, the longer it sits, the better it gets. The flavors will slowly start to marry together. I have a slow simmer going on, but the nice part is I still see each individual color and texture inside the chili to where we're not sacrificing.
I'm getting such a great aroma.
The smell.
Baby. I love that. You know, I mean, really, look at that. Wow.
Great way to have a comfort food classic without the guilt.
I tell you what. And I tell you, look at it.
Man, I like that coleslaw.
And I tell you what, coleslaw is like the chili. It gets better over time.
Sits. Oh, yeah.
You know, so the longer that this sits and it blends in that yogurt with the cabbage, it'll actually take that cabbage, soften it a little bit. But you really need to mix it well. And that's what we're doing right now. And this is one of my absolute favorite versions of something that I love that I really didn't want to eat when I was starting to eat healthy, you know?
You know what else is nice, Rob, with this chili here? If you take and omit out the beans and you make it chili con carne, which is chili with beef or chili with venison, you can take it the next day when it's left over, you can put it on an omelet. You can take and make homemade tamales and put it in a tamale.
My wife's favorite, a chili cheese omelet.
Oh my goodness,
now
it's
listen,
heaven.
You know what? I brought a treat, okay?
What'd you bring?
Knowing you're making a healthy version, and I've got this sitting in front, we're going to bring it right over here to where we can get a good view.
Cheese doesn't look too healthy, but
that is fat-free cheese, shredded.
Baby. I love it.
We've got fat-free sour cream and fresh chopped green onions.
So you don't have to sacrifice.
I'm going to tell you, when you see your chili going in the bowl, you're going to say, wow, that looks exactly the same as somebody who's eating a product that's got a lot of fat.
But it's guilt-free.
You know what? Totally guilt-free, totally healthy.
Love that.
And I tell you, I can't wait for you.
That coleslaw has great color.
Isn't that awesome? I can't wait for you to try that.
You know how I really like coleslaw? On a barbecued pulled pork sandwich. Oh, goodness. That crunch. I'm sorry, I love my food, folks.
Well, you know what? That's kind of a beautiful thing about being here in Mississippi. We've got a lot of pig farms.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We've actually used some pork in the recipes in limited amounts. We've got great egg farms.
Oh, yes.
All the available, you know, deer and venison here. And then all the beautiful produce. You know, I brought a little variety of the colors just to show what's in there between the jalapenos, serrano peppers, tomatoes, green bell pepper. I mean, look at the variety of color and flavor.
And all found in your local farmer's market.
Absolutely.
And we have some of the best seafood in the world on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, guys.
All right, now,
but that's a partial
we've got one other trick. I'm going to have you heat up this. Oh, I think we got a nice little searing going on there. Let's pull that off the heater here.
Is this those sweet potato chips you were telling me about?
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited to see this.
This is a little bit of a trick. And what we're going to do, kind of slide these over and move some other product up here for you to see.
So is that regular sweet potatoes?
Well, you know what? Guess where the sweet potato capital of the world is?
I don't know, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
I have a sneaking suspicion I've got to get that to you right now. It's right here in Mississippi, and
Where at?
everybody out there knows it's Vardaman, Mississippi.
Nice.
And I tell you, sweet potatoes, it is literally the capital of the world.
Wow.
So it's beautiful to actually use a great local ingredient like sweet potato, and I like to use them in as many of the recipes as I can.
Really healthy, too.
You know, and all right, now everybody's saying, well, sweet potatoes, I've heard, aren't that healthy. Well, you know what? When you load them with butter,
Or sugar.
you know, or sugar, and all
Or
the things,
marshmallows.
all the things that most people want to put on them, they're not healthy.
Right.
So what we're going to do today is take them, we're going to actually crust them with a little garlic and a little curry, figuring the curry kind of goes well with your chili.
It does. It's a different spice, but it blends well.
We're going to actually sprinkle some fresh chopped parsley, and then we're going to sear them, and you're like, well, we're back to oil and fat. No.
A
We're going
nonstick
to
skillet.
use, we're going to use this beautiful nonstick skillet. We're going to take a zero-fat spray so that we can
Nice.
actually brown them and have something that's actually healthy.
So did you do anything to the sweet potatoes
All right,
before?
my only trick, and you know, you hear me say
There's
it's-
always a trick,
it's
guys.
my
You gotta
troca.
ask.
It's my troca, as Ciro, the chef I trained with in Italy, would say, you always have a troca. That was his trick of the trade. And the trick on these, all you do is parboil your sweet potato. So let's say you're having a dinner party and you want to do this when your guests are there because they really need to come right off the pan hot for them to enjoy them. Get that parboiling done ahead of time.
Right. How long did you boil them? Just until the water steeps up?
About 7 minutes.
Perfect,
7
perfect.
minutes. And, you know, 7 to 10 minutes, depending how high and what a rolling boil
And the
if it's
size of the
submerged.
potato.
So let's go ahead now. We're going to take and sprinkle a little bit of this garlic powder. Remember, garlic powder has no salt.
But garlic salt does, like you
Oh,
said
yeah.
earlier. Be careful. Read your labels,
Yep.
folks.
Take a good look at them because there's a huge difference.
The nutritional value
All
on them
right.
labels is very educational. Not
right,
only does
now
it tell
we're-
you what's in it, but the portion size you should use.
Yeah, and that's the other thing we're talking about here on Fit to Eat is try to reduce down the size and the portion of the food that you use. All right, we're going to turn these now. We're going to do the same on both sides.
Right. Well, but that's going to complement well a savory herb seasoning on the outside of a sweet potato.
It's great. It's
With
really
chili
good.
and a coleslaw?
You know, I had to have a little
like
surprise
that.
for you here today.
I like it a lot.
You
I'm
know-
actually getting excited.
I mean, these are things you haven't seen at some of our dinner parties. So, you
Not
know, we
at
got to,
all.
and that's half the fun. And I tell you what, you can go to the website at mpbonline.org/fit to eat to get this recipe, to get the coleslaw recipe, to get Dennis's famous deer chili recipe. All of that's going to be online for you, so don't forget. All right, now, we've got this coated nicely. All I'm going to do,
You said a little bit of this zero trans fat, zero calorie
yeah, we're going
spray.
to take it away from the flame.
Thank you, sir.
Spray it over here. It's good
Nice and hot.
Now there's another trick. Let me see it for a second.
All right, go ahead.
We're going to take
spray in the sweet potatoes.
and spray just
another
a-
troca, folks.
Yeah,
Watch.
just helps it crisp.
It really
helps
does.
it crisp. If I could see those tongs,
There
please.
you are.
All right. Now we're going to take them, put them face down on that
Ooh,
pan.
smell that
I
curry.
know. Isn't that amazing?
Instantly smells great.
It is incredible.
Boy, when you do this in your house, if no one's there, you're going to have the neighbors coming over looking and seeing what you got cooking in the kitchen, because this definitely
Little
smells
touch
delicious.
on top, and we're good.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're going to keep a little bit of this parsley on the side so that we can take it and garnish those when we pull them off. But you're going to be surprised. We're going to peek at those and see, because it really doesn't take long for them to brown. They're starting. We're going to turn them about two times.
Oh, man.
I know, isn't that
That
aroma of the
smells
curry?
so good. And you know, that's pretty ingenious. I never would have thought to use curry with a sweet potato, but I bet it would kind of blend because you use coconut milk with a lot of curries.
I tell you what,
It's a sweet element.
I think it's really good. And you know, the people that are out there who've never tried something like this, par cooking a sweet potato and then using it this way, it looks so pretty, but you're eating.
It's almost like bread, but healthy.
Yeah, but you're not eating anywhere near as much of the potato too. So don't forget, one of the things that we're going to keep harping on is the portion size. How we coming with that chili
Man,
over
the
there?
chili is working hard.
Wow.
It's looking good,
You know
smelling
what?
great.
We're getting there, so I'm getting excited.
Tell you what, it's pretty close. I think we could be just about ready to start in a little bit to plate it up.
Well,
and you know, you have a nice variety going on. We have this wonderful venison chili with all these wonderful aromatics. You have the curry encrusted sweet potatoes and a coleslaw.
Man, I tell you what.
For some reason, it doesn't sound to me like we're having a healthy meal, but the way it's been prepared today, it's healthy all the way around.
Watch, I'm going to make this look really pretty, and that's going to be one of the fun things as well.
Right.
Because it's got great colors.
Incredible
so we're going to
colors.
take the tongs and actually put one portion of the coleslaw right on the side of the plate.
Oh,
all right?
nice.
We're kind of cheating there a little bit, you know?
Nah.
I think honestly, if you're going to eat, you want to make it look pretty. All right, let's put that right back over.
You eat with your eyes and your nose first, folks.
All right, and Dennis
Right
is going
about
to
here
get,
is
that's
about our
exactly
portion size.
Exactly it. Let's take that and
Let me put
clean
the
it
heat
here.
down nice and low since we're just going to let this
You know what?
boil
That
for a while.
has an incredible aroma. You can see it steaming as we're coming off right now. And
beautiful sweet potatoes.
woo-hoo!
Boy, I really like the idea with the sweet potatoes. I'm
Look at 'em.
excited to try this.
Curry crusted sweet potatoes. Let's take and put a little dollop
Fat-free sour cream.
of,
Oh, man.
and some green onion.
Now that's a meal.
Little parsley
that's a
over
game
here.
time feast without the guilt.
I tell you what, honestly, I will love tasting Denis Trochesset's chili. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You know, it's a beautiful thing. I'm Chef Rob Stinson here with Fit to Eat. And remember, you can get all of our recipes at mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat. Chef Rob Stinson, thanks for watching Fit to Eat. We're going to have a great time enjoying this.
I need a spoon.
I'm ready. All right. Looks great. Dennis, thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Oh, that would
Absolutely.
be a great dinner party.
Looks great, man.
This program was made possible in part by
Mississippi family farms sustain a long, proud tradition that has been handed down for generations. A safe, dependable source for food, fiber, and timber, Mississippi family farmers help feed your family as well as their own. Through best practices and modernization, Mississippi farmers continue to be good stewards of our land and water resources, ensuring a reliable, affordable source of food well into the future. The farm families of Mississippi.
Support for Fit to Eat comes from Mississippi Seafood Marketing, a division of the Department of Marine Resources. From our waters to your table, wild-caught Gulf fresh seafood is fresh, local, and healthy. Information at dmr.ms.gov.